In May 2015, a struggling wedding videographer named Gavin York helps his in-laws clean out the basement of their newly purchased house. While sorting through old belongings, they come across a small shoebox filled with old videotapes. Written clearly on the box are the words, "Don't watch." The box is eventually handed to Gavin. Instead of ignoring the warning, curiosity takes over. He brings the tapes home and begins watching them. Inside the box are around 40 videotapes. As Gavin works his way through them, he realizes these are not random home recordings. They are fragments of an unfinished student documentary filmed in March 2004 by two film students named Sophia and Feldman. The footage is raw, unpolished, and deeply unsettling. Intrigued, Gavin begins editing the tapes together, slowly assembling them into a complete documentary. The more footage he watches, the more convinced he becomes that what he is seeing is real. The story is not told in a straight line. Instead, it moves back and forth between two sets of recordings, Sophia and Feldman's footage from 2004 and Gavin's present-day investigation in 2015. As the film progresses, the two timelines begin to mirror each other. The student documentary focuses on a local Maryland urban legend known as Peeping Tom. According to the legend, Peeping Tom can be summoned by standing at the entrance of the Ilchester Tunnel at exactly midnight and staring into the darkness for a full hour without blinking. If the person succeeds, Peeping Tom appears. Once summoned, Peeping Tom moves closer every time the victim blinks. Eventually, he forces the victim to blink by brushing his eyelashes against their face, an act known as butterfly kisses. After that, the victim is killed. Sophia and Feldman are working on to prove or disprove the legend. However, they quickly realize that neither of them can physically stare into the tunnel for a full hour without blinking. So they come up with a different idea. They decide to use a video camera. Their logic is simple. A camera does not blink. If it stays fixed on the tunnel and records continuously, it can replicate the act of staring without blinking, something they cannot do themselves. They place the camera at the entrance of the Ilchester Tunnel and let it record the darkness. At first, nothing happens. But when they review the footage later, they notice something terrifying. Deep inside the tunnel, a tall, shadowy figure appears in the frame. It was never visible to them in person. Only the camera saw it. They slow the footage down and examine it frame by frame. The shape becomes clearer. Peeping Tom is real, at least on camera. When Gavin shows the footage to critics, the first clip they see is the recording captured by Sophia and Feldman inside the tunnel. Their reaction is skeptical from the start. They question the authenticity of the footage and treat it as staged rather than evidence of anything real. After their initial visit to the tunnel, Sophia and Feldman continue working on their documentary. As part of their research, they visit one of their teachers to discuss the Peeping Tom legend and get academic feedback on their project. During the meeting, everything seems normal. However, later, when they review the footage from that visit, they notice something unsettling. In the background of the recording, they see, barely visible, and standing at a distance, is a dark, shadowy figure. Slowly, Peeping Tom begins appearing in footage shot at completely different locations. Each time they film, the figure appears slightly closer than before. It becomes clear that Peeping Tom is no longer bound to the tunnel. The students realize that Peeping Tom has attached himself to the camera. Every time the camera turns on or off, it imitates blinking. With every cut, every clip, Peeping Tom moves closer. This realization takes a severe toll on Feldman. He becomes paranoid, anxious, and severely sleep-deprived. He believes Peeping Tom is watching him even when the camera is turned off. His behavior grows increasingly erratic as his mental health collapses. In one recording, Feldman speaks directly to Sophia. He explains that he tried to stop everything by removing the camera's battery and locking it in the basement before going to sleep. When he wakes up, the camera is powered on and recording him. Feldman becomes convinced that Peeping Tom himself is doing the recording. He tells Sophia that Peeping Tom has come for him first, and that after him, it will come for her. Later footage shows Sophia recording a television news report about Feldman's death. As the report plays, the camera captures Sophia sitting alone, crying. Back in the present day, Gavin becomes obsessed with the tapes. Believing they are real, he hires a small documentary crew to help him investigate and prove that Peeping Tom exists. The crew is led by filmmaker Eric Christopher Myers. Almost immediately, problems arise. Gavin is unable to find any official records of Sophia or Feldman. No school files, no public documentation, nothing. This raises serious doubts among the crew, who begin questioning whether the footage is authentic. Gavin refuses to accept this. He becomes defensive and increasingly desperate to prove the tapes are real. Eventually, Gavin tracks down Matt Lake, one of the people who appears in the original footage. He contacts Matt through Facebook and travels with the crew to meet him. When asked about the interview with Sophia and Feldman, Matt seems genuinely confused. He barely remembers the interview and has no recollection of Sophia or Feldman as real people. Gavin loses his temper, and the meeting ends abruptly. As the investigation continues, the crew notices another disturbing detail. Every time Peeping Tom appears on screen, a low, repetitive sound can be heard beneath the audio. At first, it sounds like background noise. Then someone realizes it follows a pattern. They translate it as Morse code. The message reads, "Blink." When Gavin asks the crew what they think it means, their reaction is dismissive. They laugh it off, joking that it's fake, probably just an audio effect or something added during editing. The crew's doubts on the authenticity of the tapes deepen further when they discover that Sophia had previously won an award for a documentary in which she openly used an actor pretending to be a real person. A fact she herself admitted on camera in the videotape. Combined with the fact that Gavin owns the same Panasonic DVX-100 camera model used by Feldman in the footage, suspicion begins to turn toward him. Gavin tries to pitch the story to news outlets, but no one takes him seriously. He uploads the footage online and schedules a radio interview to promote it. During the interview, callers openly mock him. One of them is Eduardo Sanchez, co-director of the Blair Witch Project, who dismisses the footage as a cheap imitation. The humiliation pushes Gavin over the edge. His obsession destroys his marriage after his wife discovers he used their son's college savings to fund the project. With nothing left to lose, Gavin spirals completely. He orders the crew to meet him late at night at the Ilchester Tunnel, where he attempts to recreate the Peeping Tom ritual using a camera. The crew begins arguing over what to do next. Some believe Gavin needs immediate psychiatric help. Others turn their anger toward Eric, accusing him of encouraging Gavin's descent into insanity by pushing him to keep working on the film instead of stopping it. Suddenly, the crew hears Gavin running into the tunnel. When they follow him, he is gone. The camera is gone too. Later, another piece of footage is revealed. Sophia explains that the recording showing Feldman's final moments came from a damaged videotape. According to her, the tape was partially destroyed, but she managed to repair it and recover the footage. What the restored recording reveals is Feldman's final attempt to survive. In a message he recorded for Sophia, Feldman explains that he has only 3 blinks left before Peeping Tom reaches him. The footage shows that he prepared a hammer, planning to use it on his final blink in a desperate attempt to stop Peeping Tom from getting any closer. Despite his preparation, Feldman is eventually killed. 9 days after Gavin disappears, Eric receives a package. Inside are a DVCM tape, Gavin's personal journal, and a hotel keycard. The keycard leads the crew to a hotel room, where they find Gavin's dead body in a bathtub. Despite everything, Eric chooses to continue the project. He says the story is no longer about Peeping Tom, it is about Gavin. When asked whether he believes Peeping Tom is real, Eric remains silent. In the final footage, Sophia recalls what she once believed was a dream, standing at the entrance of the Ilchester Tunnel for a full hour without blinking. It was never a dream. She summoned Peeping Tom. Believing she has found a way to defeat him, Sophia commits a horrifying act of desperation. She smashes a glass frame and cuts off her own eyelid so she can never blink again. In the mid-credits scene, Sophia is shown inside an insane asylum, calmly touching Peeping Tom's face. The entity was real all along. Or was it just obsession, filmed until it became deadly? And that's how this story ends, or does it? If you enjoyed this recap, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until then, sleep with the lights on.